What a game, man. What a game, guys. I'm just making sure that the stream is working. Give me just a hot second. I believe it's live, but give me a hot second. Here we go. Looks like we're live now, guys. So welcome to the Terrible Towel post-game show. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. As you're seeing me look over to the right, to the left, or whatever, however you're seeing it from your perspective, just making sure that the stream is live. But boy, do we have a few good things here to talk about today, man, after the Steelers have faced off against the Bengals, the winless Bengals. It feels good to still say the winless Bengals, but it definitely wasn't a pretty game. Not by any means. So there you have it. Now give me a hot second, guys. I'm just trying to make sure this thing is streaming the way it's supposed to. It looks like it's bugging out, man. Give me a second. I see that you guys are there, but it's not streaming the way it should be. So give me a hot second. Give me a second. Looks like you guys are there. Yeah, I think I got to update my settings, man, as far as my stream. It seems to be tripping out on me. Give me a hot second, man. But welcome, guys. Welcome. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to get started here in just a hot second. I just got to make sure my stream is going out the way it's supposed to. Give me 2 seconds, guys, and we'll get started. Because it looks like for whatever reason, it's not recording my settings. I don't know why that is. So I apologize for that. Even the screenshot appears to be off. So let me know, guys, what are you guys seeing on the screenshot? Are you guys seeing just my name there, or are you seeing Mason Rudolph was my thumbnail? Can somebody confirm that for me really quick? But then we'll go ahead and get started either way. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, man. I have no idea what YouTube is doing. It's tripping. It's tripping big time. So I apologize, guys. But yeah, give me 2 seconds, man, and we'll get it going. Two seconds, guys. I promise. You say I'm good to go. Yeah, for whatever reason, the stream is tripping, man. So I think it's my software. It's not connected. It seems like it's not projecting what I needed to project. There's not even any tags in my stream. So I'm going to have to figure that out. That's basically the streaming software. So yeah, we'll get it going. But yeah, I see some of you guys, man, saying that Duck is the future. I'm about to get into that. Definitely about to get into that. Let me change my little thumbnail here really quick. Got to put my boy Minka up there, and then we'll get rolling. All right. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me, man. Let me make sure that I have the right stream in there. 1 second, guys. I'm just checking with the people that I text the stream to. I don't know if that's the right link now. I don't know if they have the right link, man. So you guys got to bear with me for a hot second. Just a second. I promise you, man. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but I promise you, we're going to get rolling in 2 seconds, man. Let me resend this link out, man, to my folks here. Then we'll get it going. But I definitely want to know how you guys feel about that game. Not the best game by any means. And I'm going to be very quick because I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's some more football that I want to watch today, as well as I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet, so bear with me with that. Let me send this to my father-in-law, Leonard. All right, I sent that to him. Let me get Floyd in here, and my brother-in-law, Jamar, and then we're ready to rock. All right, man. See, this is what happens when you do things live, guys. That's the price you pay. But okay, let's get to it. I guess we do got to address the elephant in the room, right? Mason Rudolph versus Duck Hodges. We'll get to that. I'm going to hold that discussion for a little bit later. First thing I'm going to do, since I'm pressed for a little bit of time, let me roll through my quick recap here, right? And then I'll check and see if there are a few calls. Like I said, I'm going to try to do a short show tonight. I'm not trying to go an hour because, I got some other things I need to do. So let me be brief. Let's get through the recap first, right? And then we'll talk about Duck and Mason Rudolph. So here's what I got. And I started taking notes a little differently, guys. What I did in this particular game, instead of just, writing every individual thing. I basically wrote my notes out in sequence, meaning if the offense did something or didn't do something, and then I wrote behind that what happened on the flip side, whether the Bengals were able to move the ball or whatever, et cetera, and vice versa. So that's how I'm kind of going to read my recap to you guys. I will definitely give you my first defensive series. I usually like to give that to you guys. This is what I have for those notations. Ola forced the fumble on the kickoff, right? And I'm going to consider that a defensive thing because we were kicking the ball off. So Ola made a play there. Fortunately, we couldn't recover it. But then TJ Watt, right on first down, gets a tackle for loss right away. Watt almost gets a strip sack on third down. But Finley was able to get the ball away. They moved the ball. But needless to say, the Steelers did force a punt, but the ball was down on the 2-yard line, which had me panicked, right? And why was I panicked? Because then right after that, the first offensive series, we go 3 and out. Dangerous pass to Benny Snell by Mason Rudolph. Threw it high. Snell came down with it, but that was a dangerous pass. Later on in the game, or a couple of series after that, you notice there was another dangerous pass by Mason Rudolph when he threw the little screen to James Washington. Kind of threw it into traffic there. Washington made something of it, but Mason Rudolph was a little careless with the ball. He still held on to the ball a little long as well, but I'll wait till a little bit later before I dive into that. But then here come some of the key things that I noticed, man. First and foremost, the Bengals punted the ball 8 times. 8 times. And the Steelers only scored 16 points. Clearly, the offense is still a problem, people. We said this going into this game. Yes, it is the Bengals. Yes, they're 0-10. Well, 0-11 now. We know this. But what did we say? What did I say on Tuesday? And speaking of which, I apologize, guys. I never got around to doing the roundtable this week, or this past week, I should say. I had a lot going on, man. My schedule got out of whack, so I never got a chance to do that. So I'm going to reach out to Tony and Kenyon again. Maybe this week on Tuesday, we can have the roundtable, because now we have even more to discuss, with the quarterback controversy we have now. So Tony and Kenyon, I'm sure you guys are listening. If y'all are ever able to make that happen, let me know. We'll do what we were going to do last week on this coming Tuesday. But here it is, guys. The offense just stunk it up for the most part. All right, so let's go through some of these things. Kerrith White showing promise, man. Kerrith White Jr. was showing promise, and I don't know why we didn't go back to him a little more. I understand that the playbook is a little condensed for this guy. Obviously, with him being relatively new to the situation, I get it. But at the same time, come on. My man was having success. Showed a little wiggle. Has speed. Right? Now, I'm not going to beat up the offensive run game too much because it perked up a little late. Benny Snell got going a little later, had a fairly decent game, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Too early and often in that game, we tried to run the same type of plays, whether it was a counter or just a power where we're pulling guys, and it was getting bottled up. Okay, Benny Snell wasn't really getting anything going. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I was very critical of the run game early. I wanted to see Kerrith White Jr. I'm going to just say White Jr. I wanted to see White Jr. get more opportunity, man, because he showed a little wiggle, showed a little pop, and he just didn't. I was a little pissed off by that, but he showed us something. He showed a different element than what we don't have, what we currently don't have in the backfield. We don't have the speedster. Think about it. There were some plays where we saw Benny Snell got on the edge, but he's lumbering. And we know that about Benny Snell. Nobody ever said he was going to be a speed back or anything like that. I'm not beating him up. But I'm saying, man, this is the same thing I felt about Tony Brooks-James. We need a guy with an extra component. And I think we're going to find a way to keep this guy on the team. He has to be on the team anyway for 2 more weeks because of how he was signed off of the practice squad of another team. By rule, he has to be active on a roster for 3 weeks. Plus, he's going to be your kick returner, more than likely, with no Switzer. So I hope we find a way to keep him. And if he perks up, let's re-sign him. Why not? As a backup. I like what he showed, and I just wish Randy Fichtner would have went to him a little more often. All right, so let me get into my my little situations here. I'll read them all to you. There was a situation where, like I said, Kerrith White Jr. showed promise. Jalen Samuels was called for a false start on 3rd and 3. And there was a missed face mask on White Jr. And then Rudolph passes, gets tipped, and is picked off in the end zone. Huge turn right there, because we were promising drive. It looks like we were moving the ball. That was the best we had moved the ball so far. I think that was our third possession. It could be wrong, but it was like our third or fourth possession, right? We were moving the ball. Ball gets tipped. What do? Right? Gets picked off, but right after that, still is able to get a three and out. Cam Hayward ends the drive with a sack. Beautiful stuff by the defense, which we know who balled all game. Next piece of notation I have here. Steelers got another 3 and out, right? Almost had a safety by Barron, but they said the quarterback was down by contact. Now, because he was where he was first hit. Here's what I got to say about that rule. That is crazy to me. Because what if the quarterback that you contact breaks the tackle? So what do you call then? Are you calling him down because it was first contact? Or do you allow the play to be extended? I thought that was a ludicrous call, and I get it. If it's in the rules, great. And if that is the case, the rule is ludicrous. Mark Barron hit Finley right at the goal line. The guy is still on his feet, and he's tackled down into the end zone. That should be a safety. But according to the rule, or what they kept saying, because who knows, maybe they were saying this. I don't know if that's the actual rule. The commentators kept saying the way they're ruling it is at first contact. So, and I do know there's some different parameters around the goal line with safeties, because even like, if you're running the ball, if any part of your body gets back to the line or whatever, it touches the goal line, it's not a safety. So I know things change, but that is a horrible rule, particularly because of the situation we saw today. I'm not just saying that because I'm partial or biased to the Steelers. I'm just saying, if you look at that with your own eyes, that looks stupid, right? How you're not going to call that a safety. So it was a missed opportunity there. And basically after that, we got the ball on the Bengals territory. Big time catch by Kane. Here's another guy who's going to have to stay on the active roster for a while. I like that go up and get it, right? We've only seen a couple guys do that on our roster. Juju's capable of doing that. James Washington has done that. And if we could get another guy in Kane who's I'm going to go get the 50-50 ball, and he's 6'2", 200, and he got a little speed to him, maybe this is a guy that can help us out other than Johnny Holton. So it was good to see him step in right away and make a play. So, both guys that we signed, man, showed some bright spots. But, needless to say, guys, that drive didn't really do anything because we only got a field goal out of that, right? So then let's move on to the second half. Steelers come out and go 3 and out on the first possession of the second half. Then the magic happens. Rudolph gets benched for Duck. Duck comes in and throws a strike to James Washington and a beautiful stiff arm by James Washington to score the touchdown. Now, I'm going to tell you, at that moment, I was like, whoa, quack, 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 quack. I was like, Ducky boy is looking good. However, came back down to earth a little bit later on. Not all his fault. And not all Rudolph's fault either. I will explain. Give me a second. But Duck comes in, again, throws the strike to Washington. Beautiful stiff arm. We score. Great. So then later on in the game, the Steelers go 3 and out again after the Bengals tie the game. That was a huge possession, huge swing right there. And I felt like it was horrible play calling by Randy Fiedler. Let me explain to you why. We go empty on first down. Don't get anything there. We come back. We try to run the ball on second down, 2nd and 10, which has been a bugaboo for us all year. Running the ball when we're in 2nd and 10 or 2nd and long. We only pick up 1 yard. And then the Steelers defense, not the Steelers defense, but then after that, once again, I think that was the play when Duck gets flushed out of the pocket. We're unable to get anything going. So you go 3 and out right away. After they tie the ball game, and you think at that point the momentum goes back to the Bengals. But once again, I notated here, Steelers defense goes 3 and out right after that. Hayden gets burned. Let's not forget, Hayden gets burnt on that, out and up. And luckily enough, Finley was looking like Mason Rudolph out there. He put the ball in a horrible spot. Ball goes out of bounds and saved the day. But that 3 and out severely helped us out, even though, like I said, that probably should have been a first down, if not a touchdown. All Finley had to do was throw it in play. He didn't even have to put it on the outside. But what he probably was thinking, he probably was anticipating single coverage there, right? and he was anticipating the cornerback being a little closer, and he's throwing it to the outside to a spot where only his guy can get it. But again, had he read that a little better, Joe Hayden was toasted on that play. My man's wide open, but hey, sometimes the ball breaks in your favor. It broke for us in that situation. So here we go again. Let's talk a little bit more about Randy Fichtner. Back-to-back drives, I did not like Randy Fichtner's play calling. I'm going to read this whole thing here. And this is how I notated it, guys, so it might not be in perfect order. But what I wrote here, there was a big swing in the game where Boyd gets open against Bush. Then Bush forces the fumble, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, with that ball magnet that he has, returns the ball all the way up to the 42. Right after that, the Steelers run the ball successfully for 2 plays. Remember, Benny Snell off the right side picked up 9. Benny Snell again gets the first down. What happens after that? Randy calls a play action. Villanueva gets his butt kicked, gets sacked, and on that same drive, we ended up in a 3rd and 20. Do you hear that? We ended up in 3rd and 20 after getting the ball on our own 42, picking up essentially 11 yards, because I said Snell got picked up 9 on first down. We picked up the first down. It was 2nd and 1. We got about 2 or 3 yards there. Man, we end up in a 3rd and 20. Now, the reason why I didn't like the play action, I know some people are going to say, look, they're looking for the run, try to attack them. I get it. But at that point, the run was successful for us back-to-back, which hadn't been the case most of the game. At this point, keep trying to churn the run game a little bit. You just had 2 successful runs. So it's not the time to set up play action right now, to me, after 2 runs. But I get it. Try to catch him off guard, great. But like I said, we hadn't been passing the ball that successfully up to that point, nor running. So I think once you got the run game going and the clock in your favor, run the ball a little bit. But we don't. And we get sacked. And that killed that drive for the most part. So then here's another situation with a little over 3 minutes on the clock in the 4th quarter. Y'all remember this? I didn't like the play action on 3rd down. Here's the only reason why, because I text Kenyon about this as well, and Kenyon said, what play would you have ran in that situation? Here's how I feel about it. At that point, you got the Bengals to use their last timeout, right? Why not run the football and rely on a field goal attempt, which we ended up doing, right? Or if you know you're going to pass, I just didn't like play action because it only gave us 2 options. That's the only reason why I didn't like it, right? It gave us Holden in the back, and then there was Vance McDonald that was kind of right in front of Duck. He might have been able to sidearm him to, sidearm it to McDonald, and McDonald may have been able to get in, get the first down. It was kind of a cross-body throw, but I just didn't like that it was only 2 options there, right? So to me, I just felt like you're limiting yourself to either one of these 2 guys being open. That wasn't the case. Bada boom, bada bing. Then Duck, might be a little bit of a mental error. He wasn't throwing it to Holden. He clearly threw the ball away, but you stopped the clock. So that's why I said I didn't like that call at that moment, again, because I didn't like only having 2 options, 2 eligible receivers at that point, as well as I wish we would have worked the clock a little more. So maybe you try to run something, maybe you spread it out and do something quick, where you can get them in a man situation, or you hand it off and hope we pick up the 4 yards or whatever it is. And if we don't, you let the clock run, kick the field goal, which we ended up doing anyway. All right. So next after that, the Steelers were able to draw 2 back-to-back. This happened before, so I told you my notes are kind of out of order, but this was another big moment in the game. We were able to draw 2 back-to-back defensive passes interference. Or what's the guy? What's the dude, man? He used to play for us. I can't remember his name now. Webb, I think. 2 back-to-back DPIs. And that was significant because remember, the first pass interference was on 3rd down. 3rd and long. And how many 3rd and longs were we in today? 3rd and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, even sometimes 20. Because we couldn't successfully run the football early in the game. And then we were able to take the lead at that point. It was 13-10. And then we all know what happened at the end of the game. Again, man, I'm going to just say this really quick because I want to take a few calls. And like I said, I got to run tonight. The defense is clearly the strength of this team. Clearly. Okay, we were able to get some turnovers, not the conventional way. We didn't get any interceptions. But what a great play by Devin Bush. Got beat. It's going to happen when you get a backer on a fairly decent receiver to Tyler Boyd. Good, nice pass, nice touch by Finley. But Bush stayed with it, knocked the ball out, and Minkah Fitzpatrick right there to pick it up. You know, and later on in the game, man, Joe Hayden coming up big with his pass deflections. You know, you kind of excuse that first one, you know, the one where he let his guy get wide open. Fortunate enough for us that he didn't connect. But Joe Hayden played a really good game today. Mike Hilton played a really good game today. Cam Hayward playing out of his mind. TJ Watt. I mean, come on, man. Do we even have to still talk about TJ? He is the stud of this team, clearly. And we got some studs out there, right? Him, Minkah, Bush, Cam, guys like Hilton and Cam Sutton showing up when they need to. Guys like Nelson holding his side down when he needs to. Yeah, he gave up a long pass to Odell Beckham last week, but we all know why that happened. It's going to happen, right? Joe Hayden playing pretty good in spots. And then there's that guy. What's his name, Kenya? Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree, if you ask me, had to play of the game. Between him and Devin Bush, and I would have to say at the moment, Bud, you know what? I'm going to be bold enough to say this. Stud Dupree showed up. That was stud in that play. You made a play when we needed it to happen. Not only did you get the sack, you take the ball away. You borrowed a page out of TJ Watt. Might I say he was stud today for that one moment. And there you have it. Now, this really quick before I open it up. And again, guys, I'm only going to take a few calls, and I need y'all to be real quick for me. I'm going to say this about Mason Rudolph, and we'll talk a little bit more about this on Tuesday. So you guys can look forward to the discussion. Biggest problems that Mason Rudolph has, and I'm going to preface it by saying this, because sometimes people misunderstand or misconstrue what I'm saying. I still think Mason Rudolph has a chance to be a decent quarterback in this league. Perhaps a starter. I don't know. We'll have to see. But he could definitely be a serviceable backup if he can correct his biggest problems. He has accuracy issues at times. He does. Doesn't look like his arm is that strong, but I think you can work on accuracy. Here's case in point. I was the biggest one saying last year that I didn't like Lamar Jackson's accuracy. Lamar Jackson was wildly inaccurate last season and also his last year at Louisville. But I said if the dude can fix that, he's going to be a threat. Lamar Jackson currently, he's not a killer with his arm, but he's accurate enough for you to respect, right? I think Mason Rudolph can improve on accuracy. Arm strength is not necessarily something you can overall improve. Some guys just have an impeccable arm talent. You either got it or you don't. But I think he can improve accuracy. But here's another thing that's wrong with him. Mason holds the ball too long. He holds the ball too long and he doesn't read progressions. And a lot of times he's looking at his target. You watch him play and you watch where the ball ends up going most times. He's watching him the whole time. He's telegraphing where he wants to go, even though it hasn't caused him, hasn't costed him yet, because his interceptions have actually come from bad throws. Not necessarily because he's eyeballing where he's going. Most of them have been bad decisions and bad throws. But even if you clean that up, you can't keep eyeballing the guy that you're going to. You got to and we saw it. I showed you guys in one of the games. I can't remember which game it was, where he threw the touchdown to James. No, whatever game that was when he hit James Washington for a touchdown, but the play before that he threw the quick slant. Did a good job. And I think it was the Rams game. He did a good job looking Weddle off on that play. But he's not consistent. His pocket presence is it's erratic. You know what I mean? He's going to have to fix that if he wants to be successful. I think he has the physical tools, so to speak. He has the moxie. I don't think he's scared. I know some people say he looks rattled. I don't think that's the case. But he's just not, his comfort, think about this, and I'll finish with Rudolph. The comfort that we saw him have in preseason, didn't we all think, oh, okay, he got a little something. That's gone. And it could be, guys, when you get knocked out, maybe that does have an effect. I don't know. But I want you guys to just think back to what you saw in preseason and ask yourself, can this guy play quarterback? Yes, but he has to stop holding the ball, and he has to trust where he's throwing. Those are his biggest problems. So as I sit right here, I don't know what Mason Rudolph is going to be. I do know that we got 2 more years to find out because Ben Roethlisberger is expected to be the starter next year. So we don't need to have this quarterback conversation. I don't know why everybody's having it. None of these guys are going to be the starter next year anyway. Okay? And the Steelers still have 2 years to find the guy of the future. So even though we're going back and forth and some of us like this guy and some like that guy, it is pointless. Neither one of them will be the starter. You would expect that we have 2 more years before we're looking for a real replacement. And Rudolph might not turn out to be the franchise guy. So what? But I understand why the Steelers are playing him. And I got to give huge credit. Let me throw a round of applause. I got to give a round of applause for the man. I got to say that was Mike Tomlin's call to get him out of there. Or whoever had that call, but I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin had his hand in pulling him. I never thought they would do it. So I don't want to hear all of this stuff about Tomlin and then, bruh. They yanked him. Good decision. Because you know what? The only touchdown we actually got came from that decision. And that's where I like Duck. Duck isn't afraid. But guys, let's be honest with ourselves. And let me shorten this up, guys, because I can't go too long tonight. But we're going to get into this Tuesday, and I want to hear a lot of people's opinion. Of course, we're going to have the panel, but I definitely want to hear you guys' opinion on it. We're going to take some calls Tuesday as well. Here's the thing. Y'all telling me that Duck, outside of those plays, played great? Here's the big caveat that everyone's missing. The O-line is playing like trash. Right? So whether you're a Duck fan or a Rudolph fan, the O-line is playing horribly. Yeah, we're missing a couple pieces, but bro, come on, man. Villanueva was getting his lunch taken today. Finney was getting his lunch taken today. So there were times that Rudolph was under pressure. But I got to judge him for the times when he had a clean pocket. And he was missing guys. Wasn't stepping up and throwing. Was hesitant. You saw what happened when Duck got his pocket. Duck took his shot. And when you saw the replay, I can't wait to see the all-22. He threw the ball to where James Washington was going to be. That's what you have to do. Rudolph needs to be decisive. And that is where he is seriously lacking. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, I'm rooting for either one of these guys at the end of the day. You know, I'm not on the Rudolph train or the Duck train. I'm just analyzing football. That's all I'm doing. And again, even with Duck helping us win the game today, I still didn't see where Duck was just this overly better. It looks like he has some better intangibles, but how about this? I'm going to approach Duck the same way. If we decide to go with him for the rest of the season, then we can evaluate his play. I just haven't seen enough yet. That's all I'm saying. So, hooray, we won the game, right? All right, man, let's see if anybody's in the phone queue. And I need you guys to let me know, are you guys hearing me in the phone? I see area code 814 and I see 443. I need you guys type in the chat, are you hearing me through the phone? Because I don't know if Blog Talk is working. You know, I hollered at them, I hit them up, but I don't know if it's working correctly. So y'all let me know. Somebody let me know if you can hear me in the queue, man, before I open it up. They said Duck is speaking right now. Y'all hear me in the queue. All right, great. So it should be working. So, all right, Gold Drip, I believe you are 443 if I remember correctly. So, all right, here we come, man. First call, and guys, please keep it short for me, man. I'm only going to stay on tonight, maybe another 10 minutes, if that. Area code 814 is up first. I think it's Kegels Bagels. What you got for us?
What's up? How you doing?
Good. What's going on, man?
Hey, I thought that he was able to do well against the blitz. I think that they gave him the hot reads to throw to. I thought that worked. Overall, that was well. I thought that the tackling, man, that's got to be better. So many missed tackles.
Yeah.
Overzealous players.
It was.
I mean, yeah. And overall, I think that the offense has they got a lot to learn. I think that Mason was missing a few open guys early in the game, but overall, I was happy with the performance by the defense. So that was our calling card on this game. I think we got a chance against the Browns. About it, man. Thanks for taking my call. Steeler Nation.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the call. Good call right there. And you're right. And I just glanced here at the chat. I want to agree with Jesse George here. He says, I like Duck's pocket presence better, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm rooting for them both. That's where I'm at with it, Jess. That's where I'm at with it. I'm rooting for both of these guys. It's just, I'm saying this in a nice way. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody else, but I'm going to say this. As an avid football fan, I need to see more. You know, I can't raise the pom-poms for Duck. I need to see him in more situations that Rudolph has had to be in to see if he really is the good guy. You see what I'm saying? Right now, we all can identify. I like his pocket presence. I like the fact that he can take off and run if necessary. I like his little toughness too. You saw him put his shoulder down and hurt Williams. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I like the underdog story with him. I like his aggressiveness. Well, let's remember too. Remember the one time against the Chargers when he tried to push it down the field and he made a horrible throw. This is what I'm saying, folks. I know Duck seems like the quack right now, but we gonna find out whether he's quack or whack. I know that was corny, but I'm just saying, pump your brakes. But I am rooting for whichever guy gives us the best chance to win. And again, let me say this again. I don't expect anything this year, folks. I don't expect it. We get to the playoffs, we not beating nobody. This offense ain't going to make that much of a turnaround. I don't know. Maybe miracles happen, but all right, a few more calls, guys. Keep it quick for me, man. 443. What you got for us, buddy?
What's up, Sim? It's Gold Drip. I'm going to get in and out of here, but I just wanted to say Fiedner. It's like he might as well just hold up whiteboards that say, hey, defense, we're running the ball every time we run the ball, because it's like it's the same formations. It worked today. Great job. It worked against the worst run D in the league. Great job. Kareth White, I couldn't agree more. It looked really good. Like he gave us kind of what I wanted. When I wanted us to keep Deontay Spencer in the preseason, because it seems like over the past couple of years we haven't had what do you call it, like a change of pace guy, like a faster guy. Look on Twitter, I see, Tomlin this, Tomlin, like people. Tomlin is down his starting quarterback. All three of his running backs have missed time. His best receiver was out for the game. It's a winless, desperate team trying to win. Like, people need to relax from the Tomlin hate. That's pretty much it. Oh, Butler. This is the last thing I got to say. Butler. With the base, maybe I don't understand this. With his base defense, he seems to have Barron and Bush in the base defense, which kind of confuses me, because you would think that you would want Vince Williams on the field in your base defense, but it seems like in our dime and sub packages we have Williams and Barron on the field. So maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but that just seems to confuse me. That's all.
Man, you make a great point with everything you said there. I'm going to comment on it really quick. Yeah, man, listen, I'm going to just admit to this. Some people just don't like Tomlin. I'm just going to leave it at that. I want y'all to look at the football team that we have assembled right now and all of the turnover. Folks, we're 6-5. Who would have thought that? I'm going to be honest with you. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that from when Ben went down? First of all. Then after that, we talking about Kareth White Jr. and Deion Kane. Two guys that weren't even on our team this year. I'm just saying, man, what else do you want from the guy? I'm just saying. Now, I'm not telling people they should like him or dislike him. I'm just saying, what else do y'all want the man to do? It's looking like we probably going to end up a 500 team. We might mess around, sneak out a 10-win season. I don't know. But up until this point, to win 6 games, dog, with everything that come on, man. Whatever. I'm not even going to argue with people about that no more. Y'all have y'all opinion, we'll have ours. Next up, area code 609. I think I'm only going to take about 2 more calls, guys. Then I got to get out of here. I told you, I'm a football fan. I'm sorry. I want to watch some more football, and I'm hungry. We'll be back. We'll be back on Tuesday. Don't worry. 609, what you got for us, man?
Hello?
Yes, sir. What's up?
All right. What's going on, SimFBallCritic?
Good, man.
Can't really say nothing, but like really, to be honest, like still they played a good game. Offense, still have his woes and stuff like that. Still the weakness and stuff, but the defense, played well. Still as though like Mark Barron, Vince Williams, they're like liabilities and like pass coverage, but they're great run defenders and stuff like that. We gotta like be better tacklers and stuff like that. Because really, we can't really like afford to like have these big chunk plays, against against Cleveland next week, against Buffalo, and all these other great teams, we're getting ready to face and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The way this offense playing, I don't know if we can can make it to the playoffs or anything. That's just my opinion. But what are your thoughts on what I just said? All right, bye.
Yeah, man. It's tough, man. I really don't have. I mean, I agree with you. I fully agree with you. I know it ain't much more I can say about it, man. It's funny. A lot of times when you guys call in, man, you guys have my exact thoughts, and that's why sometimes you notice I don't have a lot to say after. And that's why I love giving you guys the platform where you can speak also, because instead of me just talking. Yeah, I agree. I do. And clearly this is a defensive team, man. And, I wanted to also kind of chime back in on the last caller, Gold Drip, what he said too. I don't know what's happening with that Barron situation. I think it's this. And not to say I've noticed it, so all credit goes to Alex Kazur from Steelers Depot. They said that Barron wears the green dot. They haven't given that duty over to Bush yet completely. And if that's the case, also Vince Williams, I'm assuming, doesn't have it. But that's probably why we're seeing Barron on the field a lot. But it is a little questionable, man, because some of them situations I would rather have Vince Williams out there because Vince Williams protects the run game for the most part. And we did fairly decent today. Joe Mixon had his way a little bit. But we still held him under 100 yards, if I remember correctly. He had a couple of decent runs here and there. But, yeah, I don't know what that's about, man. I guess at this point of the season, we're not going to see a change if Barron is wearing the green dot. So I think that's what's happening. But, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. Now, let me say this really quick, too, man. I'm going to take two more callers. So 931 and 318 will be the last two callers. And I'm going to get out of here, guys. Let me say this, too. I just want to comment to, what's his name? Builders for Life, I believe his name is. He says, boo, no pregame show, and I'm leaving early tonight. Look, I apologize, guys, but I'm going to be open and honest with y'all. I always try to do that to keep it as real with y'all as I can. Guys, this is not my full time, right? So I can't always commit to a locked-in time period when a pregame show is going to be. I try to. The only thing I've committed to you guys that I can always pretty much follow unless I'm traveling, post-game and Terrible Towel. Anything in between that, my schedule dictates it. Now, maybe I get to the point, and you guys can help me with this. Maybe we get to a point where I could do this full-time, and this is just what I do, right? I'm a full-time Steelers blogger. That would be great. But until that point, I'm sorry. I can't commit to certain things. And as far as me leaving early tonight, again, man, it ain't a whole lot for us to talk about. I'm going to be right back on Tuesday, right? It's Sunday. I got to eat some Sunday dinner. And like I said, I had some other football I would like to watch. But we've been here already for 40 minutes, right? So, come on, man. Bear with me. Don't be so critical. All right, next up, area code 931. What you got for us?
Sam, what it do, man? It's your boy Roughhouse, man. Calling you live from a planet called Clarksville, Tennessee, man. What's going on with you?
Good. What's up, Roughhouse? What you got, man?
Man, chilling, man. Hey, once again, bro, ugly money spin too. You know what I'm saying? We'll take it.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to say defense balled out, as usual. I was kind of wondering when Minka Fitzpatrick was gonna show up again. He was kind of quiet last week, man. But after the strip fumble from Bush, man, he's a ball magnet. Picked it up, did what he does, man. I'm so glad we made that trade and got that dude in there, man. Joe Hayden, kind of redeemed himself because earlier in the game, man, he wasn't playing his best, but he redeemed himself on some nice pass breakups in the second half of the game and later in the game, man. And some thoughts about Duck, man. I've said it before, I'll say it again, man. Duck navigates that pocket so much better
than
Mason Rudolph, man.
Mm-hmm.
He does, man. More escapability, you know what I'm saying? And more elusiveness, man. And what I like the most, it seems like he's quicker with his decision making and releasing the ball than that boy Mason Rudolph, man. I like that so much better, man. Hey, and I got a favor to ask, man. When you do your breakdown later in the week with the R22, man, could you kind of focus a spot on the offensive line? Because those boys are getting chewed up and spit out. But I kind of noticed when Duck came in, they kept the pocket a bit more sturdy and a bit more cleaner for Duck than they did with Mason Rudolph, man. And for everybody that's boo-hooing about Mason, he had to go. He had to get benched. Tomlin and the Steelers are still fighting. They're still fighting to make the playoffs, man. So he had to get sat down, man. Man, y'all already know what it is, man. Hey, make sure y'all subscribe to the homie Sim, man. If you're not subscribed to Sim right now, hey, you slipping on your pimping, man. Slap yourself with 2 hands. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hit that subscribe button, the bell icon, so you get the good notifications, man. You get all the good content that he releases, man. And y'all already know what it is. I am that boy Box. This is Rough House Boxing TV. And y'all make sure y'all stop by the house. Just remember to wipe your feet. Close the door behind you. Deontay Wilder 7th-round knockout over King Kong Ortiz, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm out. Cheers.
My man, Rough House Box. Look, man, I got to get over to, I don't know if you do anything live, but if you do, we might have to chop it up a little bit about boxing, man. So we'll get together on that. And again, guys, tonight, only one more call, 318, and then I'm going to get out of here. But yeah, I got to agree with Rough House. You know, right now, I think we've seen it a couple times. Duck seems to have better presence in the pocket, even when he gets flushed out, right? Threw the ball away. And that's key. But I just need to see him. You know, I will say it's time to see him play more so we can see who he is also. I think we know a little bit about what Mason Rudolph is. And I say a little bit, guys, because we have to caution ourselves here. Not every quarterback is going to show themselves early or look like they're a gem. Because I know, even me and Leonard was talking about Daniel Jones. You can kind of see some intangibles that Daniel Jones has. Not every quarterback has that out the gate in their first year or first 7, 8 games or whatever. It might take them a little longer. I'm willing to allow Rudolph to change the narrative. That's all I'm saying. It's not a situation where we have to decide who to keep and who to cut. Again, both of these guys going to be riding that pine when Big Boy come back. So I think it's fair to say the jury is still out to me on Mason Rudolph. He's either going to get better or he's not. He's either going to be Landry Jones or he's going to be better than that. So that's why I say I do still want to see more of Duck, even though he appears to be the better guy navigating the pocket, which I definitely agree with, and he's more of a gunslinger. But we got to see him play more games so we can really know what he's all about. You know, so let's not just look at his highlights. We need to see a full complement. All right, last call of the night, man. Area code 318. What you got for us?
Hey, what up, Sam? This your boy Double T out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Love the show. Appreciate you what you do for Steelers Nation. Good game today, even though it was an ugly game. Mm-hmm. My thoughts as far as the offense and how it's constructed is not built for Randy's scheme. And what I mean by that, we still running being plays. I can see. I would love for them to, in the offseason, bring in someone more experienced as a play caller, kind of like what they did with Terrell Austin on the defense. And we got to do something about this offensive line. We need to start scouting players right now. And that's pretty much all I got, man. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you as well. Great points, man, and I fully agree with you. I think you might have said that before, man, a week or so ago. Yeah, man. You know, sometimes it seems like Randy pulls something out of his hat, but it's way too many times. One of the other callers said this a little earlier. There's way too many times where it's just predictable. It's almost like we know exactly what he's going to be. He doesn't give you any eye candy with the run game. And that's what a team like the Niners do well. We probably see that tonight. They run a lot of plays out of the same formations. Eye candy. The Ravens are able to do that a little bit, with the threat of the read option and such. But it's still, you don't know what's coming. With us, it's almost like we know exactly what the play call is going to be. And you're right. He needs to take a page out of the younger guy's book, or we might need to bring in some fresh blood, man. But we know the Steelers are stubborn with things like that. If we end up semi-successful this year, I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't expect the change, but I'm in full agreement with that. Absolutely agree with that. So, all right, guys, it looks like the table is set, man. Both Kenyon and Tony think that they should be available. And let me correct myself because I keep saying round table. But shout outs to Kenyon and Tony. They said it should be called the steel table. So we will have our steel table on Tuesday. We'll look at some film. And I'll go ahead and concede right now and say, hey, that show might go beyond an hour. Obviously showing you guys film. You saw how much film I showed last week, and it was like 50 minutes worth without the steel table. So I'm going to try to keep it shorter, but I want to definitely extend more time for us to have a discussion and take a few calls during that time as well. 803, I'll definitely get you in, man, on Tuesday. I won't forget because I know you're a faithful, loyal caller. Sorry I couldn't get to you tonight. But that's going to do it for tonight, man. Listen, great win because we needed it. But also it showed us a little perspective, man, of what we really are. This offense is a struggling offense. The offensive line is partly to blame. Randy Fichtner is partly to blame. Mason Rudolph's game, the way he plays is partly to blame. We're in some serious trouble, man. The only thing you can be happy about, Deontay Johnson made a couple plays out there, right? The dude Kane made a nice play out there. So imagine getting Juju back and being able to put him on the field instead of a Johnny Holden. No disrespect to Holden, but I'm just saying, I like the way this guy went and attacked the ball. So we can get him out there along with Juju, along with Washington, along with Johnson. Pretty decent little core, it looks like, right? Got some young guys that might be able to bloom. Washington did his thing. That stiff arm, Washington, put his you-know-whats on the table. I'm like, bam. Not only did he stiff arm homeboy, but the man got pushed to the ground. That was embarrassing. Beautiful stuff right there. Okay, I would like to see Kareth White get some more opportunities in certain situations. How about a few pitch outs to the fast guy, the 4.3 speed guy? Come on, Randy. Work with your talent, man. So that's all I got for tonight, guys. I appreciate it, man. We will be back on Tuesday. That's always at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Terrible Towel Tuesday. So for you guys that don't know, if you're new to the channel, first I need you to subscribe. Like my man Roughhouse said, don't be slipping on your pimping. Go ahead and subscribe, man. Be a part of the home team. But make sure you cut on your notifications so you know when the videos are available. But what we do on Tuesdays, we break down some film from the previous game, and we basically talk about the upcoming opponent. And on this particular Tuesday, we'll have Tony and Kenyon. For you guys that don't know, Tony is my brother-in-law, and Kenyon is definitely an old buddy of ours. And there you have it. We're going to do a little panel where we'll just basically talk about the state of the Steelers and now the quarterback controversy, et cetera, et cetera. By that time, we will hear from Tomlin as far as his Tuesday press conference, and we'll do that. And last but not least, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Go ahead and like what you see. If you don't like it, feel free to hit the dislike button as well. I appreciate honesty. And of course, if you would like to donate to the cause, check the description, man, if you prefer PayPal or if you prefer Cash App, or if you'd rather do it on YouTube, right here in the bottom right corner, you go ahead and click that $sign, have at it, and I would greatly appreciate it. But outside of that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the win. We'll talk more on Tuesday. Enjoy the football that's on right now, man. I want to see what these Patriots look like against the Cowboys, man, because I don't think the Patriots are as potent as people think. And tonight, woo, what a game. Woo, what a game. Niners and Packers in tomorrow night. I'm going to be watching the Ravens versus the Rams and see how that works, because the Ravens look like that team, guys. I'm going to be honest with y'all. They look like that team. But all right, I'm going to get, before we get out of here, round of applause to my man Roughhouse Boxing for the donation. Appreciate that, brother. Definitely appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support monetarily as well as your viewership, man. You always in here coming through and dropping some real on us. But all right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. They said the Pats are handling the boys. For real? Wow. I thought it would be a better game than that. So, All right, man. Catch you guys later. Y'all be safe, be good, enjoy some football, and come back Tuesday and we'll talk a little bit more about our team. All right, man. It's been fun. Have a good night. Peace.